I try to be optimistic. I really do. But I do tend to think in worst case scenario. I'm working on it. It's a process, okay? So anyway, last year I was going through a rough patch. I was working 70 to 80-hour weeks at this startup downtown, and I was having a really hard time finding any kind of joy in my overworked husk of a heart. And so my boyfriend was like, what if we just took a trip? What if we leave the country? And thankfully, I hadn't taken any time off in a year, and so I'd saved a bunch of money, and we were like, all right, why not? So we got tickets to Belize. It's in Central America, kind of right where the jungle meets the beach. So I was really excited for this trip because I'm like, this is a really great opportunity for me to just get out of my comfort zone. And this might sound kind of melodramatic, but I was like, I just really want to feel grateful to be alive right now, and I feel like I'm going to do it on this trip, okay? So we go, and right away in Belize, people started telling us, watch out for the bugs. You got to wear a lot of bug spray and baby oil to just kind of keep the bugs off. And I think we mostly did do that, but it's hard to say because we were drinking a lot of rum. But it was pretty fun. When we weren't on the beach, we were in the jungle, and the coolest thing that we got to do is we went to see this Mayan sacrificial cave. So to get there, we hiked 45 minutes through the jungle, we crossed rivers, and we get to the mouth of this cave, and we had to swim inside of it, and then with headlamps just crawl our way through. And we crawled past, in the beginning of the cave, some pots of cacao that they had sacrificed. And then it was at the back of the cave that we found the human skeletons. And our tour guide was telling us that they think that these people actually volunteered to be sacrificed. And the Mayans were going through a lot, okay? They were sick, there was famine, and there was drought, and it was a lot. But still, I remember thinking, wow, I don't think that I could ever feel so desperate that I would sacrifice my life. So I got some new perspective, and I got back to LA, and I took that with me. But I also took with me some pretty serious bug bites. And these weren't just regular bug bites. They weren't mosquito bites at all. They were bigger than that, and they had these weird black dots in the center of them. And they really started itching, and a couple days went by because I was under a lot of pressure at work, and I'm chasing these deadlines, and I don't have time to think about these bites, but they do keep getting bigger and itchier. And so finally, at the end of a very stressful day, I finally have time to, figure this out. So I decide to Google my symptoms in my Uber pool. And this is a packed Uber pool. There's 3 people in the back seat, and I'm in the front. And they're politely chatting, as you do, in the back seat. And I'm like, I'm going to Google my symptoms, as I do. So I start Googling my symptoms, you guys, and that's the first time that I hear of bot flies. Oh, great. Some of you guys know. Okay. Yeah, sorry. Trigger warning, if you don't know what bot flies are, they're so cute, you guys. It's great. They're flies. And essentially, they lay eggs in your skin, and those hatch. So fodder for your nightmares if you need any. I start researching more, and the internet is saying that early stage botfly bites are identified by having a dark center. So that's about the time that I just screamed. I think that my actual words were, "Oh my fuck." I'm very eloquent under pressure, and eventually my Uber driver is like, "Ma'am, are you okay?" And I was like, yeah, maybe, or maybe I have a mysterious jungle rash. That could be it. Or like I'm trying to be optimistic, you know? So I'm like, it could be an ancient Mayan curse. Like I don't, or, you know, honestly, I think that I have flies in my skin. So dead silence in the car, you guys. I describe the mood as tense. It's pretty tense. And I think weirder things have probably happened in an Uber pool. But I didn't have time to really think about that or my Uber rating, which says a lot. Because I'm like, I gotta Google image search this, which no one should ever do. Literally, do not do that. Do not go home and look that up. And I even like went into YouTube for a second, and I was like, you know, because I'm like, you know, what could I have? And I could describe these videos. They're like those pimple popping videos meets train spotting, you guys. It's really bad. Listen, I'm sorry I'm grossing y'all out, but like imagine what I was going through. Okay? So I'm like, okay, you know what? If I have bot flies, then I'm just gonna kill myself. I just am, because it's not like I just had one bite like on my arm, you know? Otherwise I would just cut off my arm. I had bites all over. They were on my arms and my legs. So I just start texting my boyfriend goodbye, you know, like it's been great. But my boyfriend is a realist, and he was like, hey, you know, they're probably not bot flies. Like, they could be another kind of bug, and why don't you just wait a couple days and see what happens and see if it goes down, because it might be nothing. Like, you might just be, you know, thinking about the worst case scenario. So miraculously, I made it home, and my bites were really very itchy, so I got some calamine lotion for my bites and tequila for me, just a lot of it, just trying to cope. And eventually I do calm down, and I'm like, okay, well, you know, I don't want to go to the ER right now, because if these aren't bot flies, then I don't want to pay the $40 copay. That's a lot. And that, honestly, it seemed more ridiculous to me to do that than to just action roll out of my Uber pool on the 101 at 70 miles per hour, which I was very close to doing. So I just kind of waited out a couple of days, and eventually, guys, those bites did start going down, and the black centers disappeared, and I don't know what bit me, but it wasn't bot flies, and life has never looked rosier. I cannot tell you how grateful I am for my bot fly-free life. It's a tongue twister, you guys, and that's why I wanted to travel in the first place, so I got what I wanted. Thank you.
Cat Crow, ladies and gentlemen.